off on my flowers. My greens grew, and I don't know about you, but it was a hot, hot summer. Or maybe you live in an area where it's a little harder to get to where you can plant, whether you just don't have as much space, you might not have as much time, or just physically it's becoming harder and harder to keep track of it all. Wicker Park does it perfectly. Part of our Bethlehem Lights family, they bring us a cascading faux petunia plant in a 20-inch rectangle planter. So whether you just set this about and it becomes the centerpiece, the showstopper, or it's on a windowsill, a deck rail, or even your fence for added privacy, it's such a beautiful way to get lush, gorgeous petunias. Now here's the deal. We did start with 5 colors. I am now down to coral. This is all I have remaining. It's this beautiful, almost like peach creamsicle color, but I only have about 900 in the coral to go around, and it's $39.99. So what should really cost you about $66 is $39.99. I mean, you can't even go to some hardware stores and just get a planter box for that price. So 3 easy payments of $13.33 gets it home. Michelle's hanging back with us. If you picked up on our bougainvillea spheres or wreath, you know, the petunia would be a lovely pick to complement that greenery that you just picked up. But this one's done in a planter, Michelle. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you again. Yes, it is in a planter. We don't normally do that. And we had petunia hanging baskets that were so popular. And then we came up with this great idea to do it in a planter that you could just sit tabletop anywhere. You could sit it, you know, on a windowsill in the center of a table. This material is our 5-year fade resistant material. That means if you had it in the sun, and this is kind of extreme, like 24/7 for 5 years, it's fade proof. So this is going to last you 5, 10, 15 plus years, I would say, depending on where you use that. And these petunias will always look fantastic. There's over 65 flowers. We did a cascading look here as well. They are so, so realistic. And let me just say, I do grow real ones too. They didn't get eaten by beetles. They didn't get eaten by deer, but they are now so leggy and terrible looking, and like on their own, even without any adversity, they're looking very bad right now.
Like, I did my best.
These will be fresh forever.
Well, and how many people too? So really quick, Michelle, it's a 20-inch planter. The width on this one too is just over 10 inches, right? So if you're thinking about where you're going to place it, you've got about 10 inches here. And then the height is about 11.8, just under 12 inches, which is going to be from the base of the planter to the tippy tops, right, of my petunias. And then it just weighs about 5.5 pounds. I mean, if this was a potted plant where maybe you've put rocks on the bottom to give it, you know, aeration, and then your soil, it wouldn't be 5 pounds. I mean, it's perfectly weighty, yes. So it has presence,
it really is.
But it's a lot easier to move.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And you have the cascading down on the one side. There is sort of a front and a back. If you wanted to, you could, you know, you could even put the vines in the center and, you know, it's a little bit fuller from either side.
You can like tuck these in if you wanted to.
Perfectly made. You can tuck them in if you wanted to, you know, have it fuller up this way. But maybe put this in a bay window if you wanted to do that. It's going to look great year after year after year. So, I mean, and you know, I get stressed sometimes when I go to the garden center. What kind of soil do I need? Do I need fertilizer? How much do I water it? Is it overwatered? Is it underwatered? I have to get my kids to water, you know, and it's such a chore. This is so much easier, and you're going to have the same enjoyment with this one.
Yeah, well, and goodness gracious, God forbid you miss a week. Because, you decided to join the family at the shore for this summer's, you know, last bit vacation before school starts, and you come home and you're like, oh man, it feels like money down the drain, and you've killed the petunias, right, or whatever the plant is.
Exactly.
This gives you blooms all year. You know, many of us would end up spending close to this much just for one season, let alone to have something for Wicker Park that you can use year after year. And many of you might be able to keep these out even longer. Your neighbors are going to wonder what sorcery you're using on your plants.
Yes. And the coral especially. I love that we still have that coral. It is kind of that soft peach that hints a little bit towards orange. So take that into your fall if you want.
It's like a peach cobbler, a peach creamsicle. Ooh. It's a very pretty peach.
Now I'm getting hungry. Now I'm hungry. And you know, think about it too, planters. I have planters as well. Those you have to water every day because as the
Right.
roots grow with the plant, the water just comes right out. So, you know, a lot of times plants that are in the ground are a little bit more forgiving when it comes to staying healthy, but this is a great planter that you don't have to water, and it always
Yeah.
looks fresh. Even those leaves are so fresh looking.
I mean, the greenery is beautiful. So even if you want to leave these indoors, maybe you have a ledge or a windowsill and it just feels kind of humdrum. And you're gonna miss
I
all
love
the
that.
greenery and the flowers because it brings you so much joy, even to someone that's spending more time inside. Bring the outdoors into them. Use this as
know
decor
what?
inside of the home to bring that touch of life and greenery. I love this as windowsill boxes. I always wonder how
Yes.
people, like, I'm like, how do you replant? What a chore to water
Right.
those. I think they're beautiful,
Hey,
Michelle.
how
Here's the
about,
way to
and I
achieve
know
that.
I'm chomping at the bit to say this. I have an entertainment center right, you know, in the room next to me. How about putting these up high on
Oh,
if you have like an
yeah.
entertainment and then there's nothing up there. It's the perfect place to add decorations. And then you have that little bit of cascade, that little bit of color that's going to bring
Yeah,
nature
so
into
it's
your
up.
room.
I mean, imagine
Up
it
high.
up on the credenza. Hello.
And you can put this in like another planter if you're,
Oh,
you know, if you're
sure.
not crazy about the brown planter, you could drop that
I think it
into,
looks
you know,
nice.
maybe galvanized steel. I like it too.
Yeah, I
But, you
like
know,
the
feel
shape
free
of
if you
it. I
wanted to do
like the
that.
ribbing, as well as like kind of that flared top where you have that extra look of a drainage ditch. It's all, or drainage
Yeah, it
like
really looks great.
pan. It's all connected. So it's all one great piece. You can tuck these in if you want and kind of meander them inside, but for $39.99, you cannot beat these prices from Wicker Park. Hey, Michelle, thank you so much. You brought us some really great pieces for our QVC outlet. Petunias,
I love your dress,
bougainvillea.
by the
Oh,
way.
thank you. It's my Studio Park dress. Thank you
Everyone,
so much.
it's yours?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love it? It looks amazing on you.
Thanks, Michelle.
Great job.
Thank you. Good to have you part of the show.